What is happening, lovely peoples tuning in and watching perhaps this time if we got the video cams kind of rolling. Welcome to another Casters on the Block. Today's episode is going to be quite exciting. We have quite a few topics to touch base on, but before we start out, my name's Antonio, Seneca Snivy or Snivy. I am joined today by...
The Waffle Man. I am resident bearded person.
What did you say?
Yeah. Resident bearded person. I'm stealing the title from Gerd.
Gerd, you have to shave now, I guess.
You have to
I'm
shave.
not
Oh,
shaving.
sorry.
I would have been there, but I shaved.
Okay,
I
next
shaved.
person, Ritual.
Okay. I thought it was gonna go to you,
No.
dude, because they just
We were
tried
bringing
to
That's the
the
mix-up.
line.
We're
That's
going
the
to the
mix-up,
line.
bro.
We're going to
That's the
the
mix-up.
Yeah. So, hey everybody, I am Ritual. What's up? I'm a caster from New England.
Oh, really?
From and also tri-state sometimes. Resident trans person.
Okay, I guess I'm next. My name is Gerd. I'm from Massachusetts, local TO from our tournament series Reach New Heights, local caster. If you ever need a local, I'm your guy.
Also the TO for CT GamerCon. And I have one quick question, y'all.
Yep.
How the heck did we get worse at this from last week?
Because it's
No, you're
scuffed.
fine.
It's scuffed.
We're doing
Because
great.
where's the scuff?
That's
the
the
Scuff
point.
Casters
We
on the
didn't
Block
practice at all.
podcast.
That is the point.
Yeah. Wait, I would just like to say I was kind of disappointed Snivy didn't do the hello lovely people. I thought that was a
Oh.
really good intro last time.
That's fine.
I thought I
Make
did that.
Snivy do it at
Did you?
Eon.
Did you?
I just,
do
I thought I
just
just
have
did.
ADHD.
What?
Did you do it? I thought you did something else this week.
I probably said "What's happening, lovely people" instead of
Oh.
"What's up." I mean, like it's basically the same thing.
You probably did the same thing. And maybe I
I'll
just
keep.
have
I'll,
ADHD.
I'll keep it consistent. I'll
Anyways.
keep it. I want to keep that a consistent intro.
Hello,
But
Okay.
we were talking about this before. Oh, hey yo, who? Hey yo, who's throwing the deep vocals out here?
I'm scared.
I'm terrified.
I'm
One fear.
scared.
But we have quite the topics to kind of discuss today. A lot of things have been happening in the commentary sphere around Tri-State and just in general. And our first topic for today is let's talk about that House of 3000 Blast Zone. How we feeling, fellas?
It's so cool. It's so cool.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it yet?
You,
Fake
No,
fans.
but
Not
I
you.
saw.
Well-
Dude, I don't watch that many tournaments unless they're Miyagi's. I'm gonna be honest, or unless I know my like friends are gonna be there.
So you're watching Eon this weekend?
You are my friend.
Yeah, I'll probably watch Eon.
Yeah,
but
you
I'm also
better.
going to Hog, so I probably won't watch.
Bro,
What is Hog
all of it.
generally?
Okay,
It's a
so,
plug for
Hog.
Hog, by the way.
Hall of Gaming is a they do Smash.
yeah, they're
and
Smash.
it's a melee
Yeah.
tournament.
well,
this
they're
weekend.
a
Plus.
Hog is Hall of Gaming in Wallingford, Connecticut. They are the longest running local in Connecticut at this
They're
point.
they're one of the longest running locals like in the country.
Yeah, and they are very, very grassroots. It's pretty much Artie and Co. Dom Lax as well. They run Ultimate Locals, Melee Locals, P+. I think there's something for HDR in the works. So if you like Smash, they
If
are...
you like Smash Brothers.
Yeah, if you like
should
Smash
definitely
and you
go
like
there.
playing Smash games in a basement, you should show up to
Yeah,
Hog.
Yep, you
it's
would love
pretty
it.
fun. Yeah.
But Ritual, care to give us the rundown on how the Blast Zone kind of operates? I know you're
Yeah.
talking a lot about it with Devin and everybody.
Yeah, so the Blast Zone, first of all, is a play on where it kind of got its inspiration from originally, which is NFL Red Zone, which is why it's called Blast Zone. But Devin
Football.
thought the name wasn't creative, but I was like, no, dude, it's literally perfect. It's a reference. It's a Smash pun. It's everything it needs to be. But it's essentially an evolution on standard quad streams, which have been very controversial in the Smash scene recently.
Taking up
because
our spots.
A lot of
Nah, it's cool.
viewers really like them, but there's a question on whether you should do them with commentary or without commentary. And traditional quad streams really don't work that well with commentary, but if you do them without commentary, well then, yeah, exactly what Snivy said, right? Casters don't really have these opportunities. So Devin and the lovely team at House of 3000 are working on and constantly evolving. It's still changing this, essentially, what they're calling the Blast Zone, which is a quad stream, but also can be a tri-stream or a duo stream or even a single stream. And the screen sizes change over time, or they can. And currently production controls it. One day casters like us might be able to have some direct influence. And it allows the casters to more effectively jump between certain matches, right? Blow up a certain match that they find interesting. They can say, hey, let's swing over to this, and production will swing over to that set. And the other sets will become much smaller down in the corner. So you can still see them. They're still being recorded for VOD purposes, but the casting that way can more effectively focus on a specific set. There's also sometimes a caster cam always present. So it's not more casual, but it's definitely more analytically focused, and it is really, really goddamn difficult to do.
I'm just that guy, bro.
I'm taking credit for
Oh.
having part in this idea, because I posted this is what we should do on Twitter.
This is you. This is
And-
the
Yeah, but
inspiration?
I can tell you for a fact Devin didn't see it because he's been banned
No.
on Twitter.
Yeah.
Hashtag free House of 3000, free Devin
Definitely
3000 on Twitter, y'all.
But somebody might have seen it, and somebody might have told him.
This
you
is
know?
the Wall Foresight.
I don't think I actually had any influence on it, but I'm taking credit. So, yeah.
Waffle the perennial troll and grifter on
Yeah.
this podcast.
Hey, that tweet got like 17 likes. You take that back.
Oh man, my selfie the other day got 43
yo.
likes.
Oh,
Try
wow.
We kind of going crazy, but hey, yo,
See,
this is
this is
doing
why I
numbers,
said I'm
bro.
resident trans person.
What's your most? What's
The
everyone's most
selfies always
likes?
put in the work.
Most liked?
Uh,
I had one where I fake
you
tweeted
would wanna
about
blow
an
up.
event where it was actually my VGC event where I said Skydrop Series is banning Kazuya, Steve, Zelda, and Hero from the event. It got 600 likes.
Nice.
Some people called me like an idiot for doing that, and I'm like, if anyone did any
Dog.
research into that event, it is not Smash. It is clearly a Pokemon event, and people just got baited by it, and it was so funny.
That's
That
funny.
is
I have it
iconic,
somewhere.
Kurt.
We can put it in like the description, or we can put it like on the screen like right now. Just pop it up in post production. Yeah, right, Waffle.
Oh, thank you, thank you so much
Thanks,
for
Walt.
making my job easier.
For me,
I love this.
Thanks,
was-
Waffle.
And the only reason
It
I
was
put
literally
Zelda
just,
on there with like
I don't have a
Because
like
Zelda-
real
that
I
sounds
don't have
annoying.
a real editing program. Like I have like a like a very basic one.
You're a little
So
scrunkly.
you're asking a lot from
Okay,
me. but-
okay. To try and
But it
keep
might,
us.
it'll just be scuffed. It's fine.
Yeah. So what's everyone? Snivy, what's your most liked tweet?
So it was directly after Tweak wrote one port priority. I believe it was 7.
the most recent one,
I
right?
think, right? Yeah, the most recent port priority is like the Tweak apology forms, bruh. Fill them out right now. I need everyone who ever slandered Tweak those forms in my DMs. In the quote retweets,
yeah,
I
that
better see
tweet
it.
went
Even
off, dang.
TK and Lyric gassed it. I'm like, hey, yo, this kind of nice.
What was the number that you
Oh.
got?
It was like a few thousand, I want to say.
Jesus.
Jeez, dude.
That shit
Okay.
Well,
did
blow me out
numbers.
of water.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that should be
mine
numbers.
I think had about 1,000. I'll do a Smash one and a non-Smash one because I have two that are pretty similar. One was I forget exactly what it was. It was something that Arbiter retweeted and then it blew up from there. And then the other one was a when you remember when everyone when the whole Smash community did those 7 and 8 year timelines.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened was there was a 10-year timeline thing that generally, happens every new year. That's a trend that generally happens on Twitter and also especially in trans Twitter, right? And I did one, but I don't have old enough photos. So I did an 8-year timeline because that was the oldest photo that I had on my phone, right? And then my friend Zap, shout out Zap, she's a controller modder in New York City and New Jersey. She is incredibly talented. Y'all should go to her if you need any of your
We love you,
controllers
Zap.
modded. One of the nicest people in the scene. But quick Zap plug aside, Zap saw it and was like, wait, we can do it if we don't have 10-year differences? And I'm like, yeah, of course. So Zap did a 7-year timeline. And both of ours blew the heck up. And everyone on Smash Twitter didn't realize that it was just because we didn't have old enough photos and thought that that was the trend. So we accidentally started a Twitter trend, and we both got like something like 1,000 likes.
So instead of
on
it being
our
10 years,
selfie
it was like
timelines.
7?
7 and 8 years. Yeah, it
Okay.
was super
Youngins.
scuffed. But like Waddy did, like Waddy, like everybody was doing them, and it was like, guys, this isn't the trend. Y'all just got baited so hard by accident.
Hold
Like,
the 7 years.
But you know,
I could do those, but then I don't like any pictures of when I was like.
I think
what
they're
was it,
I
15. God.
yeah, but dude,
I think-
dude, it's funnier when you're trans.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because then you see the glow
yeah,
up.
it makes sense.
It's like Whiplash. It's like, what happened? It's like
Yeah.
gender. Dude.
No, I'm the same way. I think those kind of challenges are like cringe.
Hey.
So I'm like, I'll stay away from them.
Yeah, it's not our
So,
challenge.
You guys can have your
Yeah.
fun. Like,
Don't want to hop on our trends on my free
Yeah.
internet clout points.
Okay,
Yeah.
but
I
like,
was looking for mine, but my most liked tweet is it's a soccer based tweet.
I thought it was
it's an
something about
arson- it's-
summoning salt.
No. No. I have it. It's an Arsene. It's like an Arsene Wenger's done it again. Tweet. If anyone gets the reference, comment down below. But it got like a few, like a 1,000, 1,500 maybe. And then like my most liked smash tweet is actually a reply to Hugs 86. Like he was asking for the best tweets, and I was like, "Oh hell yeah, I'm chronically online," and I just posted like 4 tweets, and it got like 400
Damn.
likes. So
So yeah, but what are everyone else's thoughts on the blast zone? Now
Yeah, I was
now
about
that
to
our
say.
I
tangent
think
is
the
like
I think it's
super-
awesome.
that I
I-
didn't like from Blast Zone is that the caster camera is just constantly on. I kind of
doesn't
liked it
have to be.
when, if you're just thinking about like LMBM where it was just quad stream, obviously there were no casters there, but it's just like on the screen. Maybe if you maybe you can cycle in the caster cam, but I don't know if I'd like to just see myself on the screen the entire time I'm casting.
Oh, I
Yeah.
kind of like looking at myself.
So it can cut back and forth, and one of the things is even if it's not on the stream view for actual people, it's on the caster view is still on stream
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
casters, because we have Devin's setup is insane. You have access to every potential camera angle
Yeah.
as a caster, whether or
I
not
always
it's on
feel
stream.
like a kid in a candy store every
No,
time I
that's,
go to
yeah.
that.
I mean, that's
venue.
Yeah.
exactly
I'm like,
word for word what I say.
I got all this tech to play around
Yeah,
with.
no, dude, and I'm a huge like tech geek too. So like Devin and I like every time spend like 30 minutes to an hour just like he's like, yeah, here's what I'm like, oh, that's so cool. I'm like, I am like having so much fun with this. The replay tools that they have too, that House has, being able to as a caster draw on it, slow it down, restart it is awesome. Like it makes it so much easier to break down moments in between games, as well as what most people don't realize with streams that House runs is casters actually control the ad slides.
They do?
So
I
yeah,
do that.
so
I kinda-
so
I
you
kinda
never
forgot.
get
Yeah.
cut off. You never get cut
only-
off by an ad slide taking too long or too short. And if you don't want to talk about an ad, you literally can just never go to it. And you just like go, and then when you're done, you cut back to the caster, and production will help keep you on pace, so you're not like going too over. But yeah, you can just do your ad reads and then go back, and it's fine because you won't ever get cut off because it's not on an automated loop.
That's awesome.
I knew about that because like at majors there will be times where like you could see the person like going over to the screen on their left or whatever, or like sometimes they like make a joke about it, like about how like they're not going to it, or like the other guy like reaches over to the other side to do it.
yeah.
Like that's how I knew about that. But yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
House of 3000. I've only
like-
ever been on their cast once, and it was for CT GamerCon 2021. That was my first CT GamerCon. That was my first time working ever with House of 3000 and that entire event. And I barely got on. That's like a funny story because doubles ran long, and then that shifted people from the doubles pool that were casting into like top 6, and then people were trying to do top 6 into singles, and I barely got a spot. So I got to do the last 2 matches of Wave B pools, and then I got to do 2 matches of top 32, because if I had gone on and just got cut off to go to top 32, I only would have had 2 sets, and Ajax was like, we'll give you 2 sets in top 32 just because we don't want you to just only have 2 sets. And that was the first time I saw a House of 3000 setup with like actually pressing the frame by frame or like the slowdown. I'm just like, holy shit, this is fucking amazing. Where I could just like mess around with it. Like I'm also a tech geek, but like just messing around with all those like small stuff is awesome. And I can't do that often because I'm not from Tri-State, so I can't, be on a House of 3000 stream at all.
Yeah.
Same. I've never been on one.
Dude, it
so
is.
I will get
it
you on
is-
one, Waffle.
Maybe. Maybe.
Top 4 gamer con.
I don't know. I might. I might. I
You
might-
shouldn't disclose your bias as someone.
But I am
hiring
biased.
on a podcast.
I am biased.
You can't get rid
Bias.
of that
Only
though.
the biased commentators over here.
Hire Justinian.
I would just like
If
to
he
say
registers.
maybe I'll
Better
May-
fill out those
may-
apps.
maybe I'll snake ultimate for melee and I won't be on it.
If you go to Melee, that's
Me-
fine. Just get hired.
No, yeah, true.
So I wanted to talk about my experience with the Blast Zone. I know before going into it, I asked like Momo, Ubel, pretty much everybody who touched it before for general advice. And going into it, I was like, okay, I know this is not going to be like a traditional cast. So I was looking more towards what I've seen before, like previous work from, I guess, League, Valorant. I remember a big factor was the League of Legends Grand Finals that recently happened. I forget the 2 teams, but I incorporated basically that into the game plan, and I treated it more as an analyst desk with Force Armor. Shout out to Force Armor, by the way. Absolute goats. So
I agree.
I experimented, because obviously I'm new. I have to figure out how this works. I experimented with giving commentary like in the real time with the set, with the play-by-play and the hype, but it mainly worked when you switched it up to played by like a strength or narrative you want to create. Like you're mainly channeling with the analyst, and you can create a funny moment like something happens like so it's like you switch immediately like to I guess another scene like somebody's getting back at it. It's like, hey yo, but this guy's doing cut away production. We didn't see that production. I know I definitely made a few goofs and gaffes on there as well. But
That's actually I'm stealing that, Sivy. I'm not gonna lie for the
Yeah,
future.
if you watch back at our set, I think it's pretty solid. I incorporated like the use of like, which I also was saying during the set as well, that I liked working in tandem with production as well to kind of work and make like organize the slides and everything like that. And this leads me to one of my next points in Smash. So I know I think it was mentioned before at on Tweak Talks recently how the big house used to have an analyst desk, and that's something that's been absent from a lot of majors for a very long time, honestly. And yeah, they do have a form of an analyst desk, but I mostly see it with like Melee, how they have the break time in between the sets, but they don't truly have a structure or format where you have a real analyst desk. And I think this could come in pretty clutch with the House of 3000 tech.
So
So
okay,
wait.
can I jump in?
I
I'm gonna
have
jump in.
something to
I'll
say
jump in
first.
after everyone.
I
But
want to jump
I
in
just
first
wanna-
because I know for a fact, like this is something Devin is working on behind the scenes. Because I know it's something it's something
Is that
literally
something
an
you can
analyst
even
desk.
talk about right now? Even hinting
It's
at
something.
it? Or
I think so. He's not giving me like it's just something we've DM'd. Like it's just an idea.
Okay.
Like at this point, it's literally just an idea that the 2 of us have talked about before, and I know
We're
he's
cooking,
talked
we're
to other
cooking
people
here.
out. Where like you could have 5 minutes between sets, right? Because stream sets normally take it like 5 to 10 minutes to really like swap between because players are, and production logistics, etc. And so if you're a little bit more on top of it and you establish beforehand to players, it's like, okay, there's 5 to 10 minutes between sets, and you give analysts, right? You have like 2 analysts, your Ubels, your lasts, etc. Right? You give them a dedicated analyst desk, and during the set they have access to listen to comms and watch themselves and clip their own replays. So they, instead of production clipping replays, the analyst desk would clip replays, and then they would get to, from there, they would be able to, once it cuts back to them between games, they would be able to say maybe do an interview with the player who just won their set, but they would also be able to specifically, like this pair of casters, they would get thrown to by the traditional casters, and they would have these replays that they've clipped and they get to talk about, and the notes they just took on the set, and have 5 minutes to break down what they just saw. And for an analyst, 5 minutes is a lot of time. And it would just fill that dead time between stream sets. So it would fill in, it would give casters more opportunities, it would allow people a lot more space to socialize, and it would let people play to their strengths more. And that's kind of the thing Devin and I have both, like, we both had this idea separately, and I was like, I know he was like talking about an idea, and I like DM'd him. I'm like, hey, idea for an analyst desk. He's like, shoot. He's like, wait, that's just like my idea, and I'm like, cool.
Yeah, and this really helps out a lot of analysts when they commentate, because they usually see an interaction or like, and they want to break it down. I know Ritual gets this all the time, where she wants to see like an interaction and just harp on it and like break it
Yep.
down. It's like, no, we can't do that. The pace of the match is going too far. We have to stay in the flow, and we can only really come back to it when it's like kind of like the downtime in between the sets. But there, like you were saying before, at the analyst desk, that moment is most likely already clipped, and we get to go in depth and break it down.
I would just like to say that, did you guys know that like they did this at the Golden Gauntlet like last weekend?
What's the Golden
I
Gauntlet?
did not.
Melee?
Oh, I gotta
Yes.
watch.
So it was PPMD.
Mandatory watching.
It was PPMD, and he was the analyst desk. He talked a little bit about it at Coinbox on Wednesday. I was watching that stream. And he was saying like the hard part about it was that like they kind of did it in like one take. Like you just like found the they would find the clip, and then he would have like one take to talk about it, and he said that was like a little bit stressful. But yeah, definitely check out the SFOP Magi set from that tournament, because it's a banger. Even if you don't watch Melee, it's a banger.
What a queen.
And also at the end of the VOD on YouTube, they actually left in the analyst desk. I didn't get to see too much of it, but I know that they tried it, so definitely something to keep your eyes out on.
Real talk, I would love if, speaking of leaving in things on VODs, I would love if production either left in or made an unlisted playlist that they sent out to casters of, like, the stingers and set transitions on VODs, because it's really hard to find those for things like a reel, because they're not in the VODs, and so you have to go back to the Twitch and scrub through the specific set, and it would make our lives so much easier in that sense if we were able to, if like stingers, like when it cuts back to casters, transitions between sets, etc., got either left into VODs or just got like added as an unlisted playlist that we had access to.
So I can,
because I understand for viewers, right, that's not something we necessarily want to see, but when VODs are getting cut, it would be really helpful to not have to scrub through a 6-hour Twitch VOD every time.
So as a TO who's cut my own VODs for like almost 8 different tournaments that I've run, I do, especially RNH, like RNH 7, 8, and 9, I've cut myself, and I do try to make an effort, especially for the commentators, to leave in analytical portions in between set, not gags, but just topics if they want to do anything. If there's a funny moment, I'll try to leave it in. But I also see at majors where you'll immediately see like the beginning of a VOD start when the game is already like locked in and they're about to go in. And there is that like spot in between sets where you're just not getting that like initial analytical like description of what the match is going to be talking about. So my process,
that's okay for VODs, I think, because for players, right, it's much better, and like the spectator experience on YouTube, it's much better to just have the gameplay, because that's what people care about. And Gerd, like, honestly, in terms of leaving stuff in, you're the best person I've worked with.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like, it's just, it would be really nice to have it more commonly, again, like maybe not as a standard playlist, but like as something unlisted, whether it's the full VODs or literally just those analytical portions cut separately, because it would be way quicker to upload. Uploaded so that we as casters have them and have access to them in a fashion that is, well, accessible, and then that way the content can still be.
Yeah, it's harder to do it for all like the in-betweens, especially in sets, or if there's like a funny moment in a match, just because then you have to cut through the VODs again after you've already cut them through for like the actual gameplay. So what I'm doing for every tournament from now on, if I ever run anything, I will save like a highlight of the full VOD from Twitch onto like Twitch, or maybe if I want to save it on YouTube and just like download it, it's whatever. But trying to do it where you were suggesting like unlisting like preset analysis, post-set analysis is a little bit more work that I probably don't want to do. So I would just rather, include that into the VOD. Like my VOD like channel, which is basically like my second personal channel that I just use to dump VODs. Like it's not going to try to get like 1,000 views and trying to get ad revenue off of it. Like other channels like VGBC are probably trying to, maximize their viewership with the gameplay starting at like no later than like 10 seconds into the video. But I could care less. I'm just there to try to give the casters their spot with the pre and post game analysis or any like funny zingers, and have the gameplay in there too. So that's what I prefer, and that's my style of processing like all that information, just because as a caster as well, obviously being on the podcast, I want to have that kind of like talk on a VOD instead of having to cycle through an entire BSB VOD and look for one funny clip that I had with my co-caster. So
I don't know. I don't mind it. I'm like,
mind it?
yeah. I'm like, yeah. I don't need to give more people work for something that's specific to me. Like, I'll do the hard
exactly.
work to
That's
get there,
how I would put
Yeah.
it.
You know.
Now, I've been setting up this weekend. So as like a fan, like ignoring if I was like a competitor where I really just want to get like into the nitty gritty of like the gameplay and everything, I really enjoy when the commentators have like their chance to kind of like shine before the set. Like they add on to the set, if anything, with their player analysis or like building a narrative to go into that set. Maybe educating like the viewer of like what they may not know, like if they're ranked somewhere, or like if they like some history of the scene that will get you super invested. Because one of the goals of my commentary is like I want people to be invested in these players, get to know the background, the history of the scene. I really think this is well done in a lot of fighting game commentary, because you see they always leave like the player analysis, the narrative building, but they put that in before the game sets, and it transitions so beautifully as well. I tweeted about it yesterday. It was Daru versus Teresa. It was Majin Obama, and I'm dissing the other mans that was with them. But Majin was creating like this beautiful ass story, given the history of Daru, his background, his upcoming up against Teresa, and it's one of my favorite.
You can
sets
tell
of
I
all
haven't
time.
followed Tekken very much recently. When I didn't
That was
know
Guilty Gear, actually.
Oh wait, is it the same Majin though?
Oh yeah, Majin Obama. Yeah, it's the same. It's the same.
Like,
guy.
is it's Lil Majin the King player?
It's Majin Obama, the
Oh,
commentator.
different Majin. Okay.
Yeah. All Obama, just Majin.
But I was gonna say, do we want to jump into talking about some? I know, like,
We could get-
there were some
I think-
crazy tournaments last week, both on the
it's-
on the national level, and I know we have a
I,
crazy tournament upcoming on the
I hate to
regional
break it
level
to
that I'd
you.
like to talk about.
But
We could talk about Eon.
I would rather
my
talk about
ass
Eon.
my ass did not watch Kakariki.
No,
I
neither.
said I'm
None of
going
us
to.
did, other than Ritual. So
I
Okay,
said
I just want to
wa-
say, Zachary's pit is cracked. He is one of the best edge guarders in the world.
I feel like
Team
just Zachary is
Fundies.
cracked, not the character.
Well,
'cause Pitt's
but
kinda,
Zachary, the thing is with Zachary, right? Like his results did fall off recently, right? Like this is a return to form with a character none of us expected.
Return to
in-
form. Bro popped up with a Joker, got top 8, and then left again.
Well, no, he also has been entering some other stuff and not done nearly as well. He's had some 17th, some 33rds recently. So seeing him go pit and lose in, I think, round 2 of pools, and
Yeah.
then make it all the way to 3rd, beating literally everybody in Japan. He lost to Asimo, the Ryu player, for
Maiko.
3rd in losers finals, which is an insane run. I think he beat, like, I don't have the bracket up in front of me, but I think off the top of my head he beat, like, Yoshidora, Shuton, Ken,
I hope you're spreading this.
a bunch of
information
other
so
people.
much.
No. I know for a fact he beat those 3.
And then
I
know he
fucking
beat
the
Umeki.
goat Jazzo,
Yeah,
bro.
he
The
beat
goat
Umeki.
Jazzo.
He beat Jalzo.
Well, I know Jazzo was in there in losers doing work. I think Jazzo lost to, I think now it was, unfortunately, for that like top 8 kind of placing. It was something around there, but like Jazzo 3-0'd Shuton and we didn't even see it.
There's
I'm
some
so
crazy
sad.
clips like Zachary's just edge guarding is so incredibly efficient. He missed an edge guard up 2-0 on Asimo to close the set because he tried to read a jump and then got reverse 3-0'd, which sucks. But it was really cool to see someone pushing a character that, right, people are like, oh, this character's fine. But like seeing the meta get pushed, and it shows just how much of so many characters' metas is left underdeveloped, or there's just not someone really doing it at a top level to see, right? Like he got a drag down up air, which puts you in a tech situation on platform, into a double down air jab lock, a drag down up air through platform again, which then you fall out of, so it pulls you off to the side, which combos, it pulls you off of platform and combos into either down smash or back air, or you can set it up into a read into a down air, and it's just
That's
like
awesome.
crazy. And like Zachary was doing it all tournament, and it's just like, it's broken. But yeah, I guess that was our Kagaribi recap.
I do
Yeah,
want
we
to
told-
shout out.
I
I do want to shout out one thing.
Sure.
Zachary is 20 now, which is crazy to think about. When anyone
He
remember
is.
his like Genesis run where you'd see his feet like dangling from the chair, and he just
Yeah.
isn't able
I
to
remember
like.
his SmashCon run.
That was- no, that was-
yeah.
that
I
was
was gonna say, I
Genesis.
remember
That was Genesis,
his
wasn't it?
SmashCon set with Rob.
Oh, you're talking about something different.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
that
his
broke my
Smash Con
heart,
set
bro.
with Leo, Game 5, last hit with Rob. I still think Zachary is the best Rob in the world when he goes that character. His Rob was different. Like, it just, his understanding of that character's neutral. Like, he is the only person I've seen play better neutral with that character than Zomba. And that's high praise, because Zomba fucking destroys you in neutral with that character. And he didn't do double toss as frequently as someone like Anathema, like Steven, but he
The GOAT.
does still do them, right? He still does do. He really implements a lot of the kit, and it's just beautiful to see. But anyone else have anything they want to say about Zachary before we jump on to this upcoming tournament? I guess I'll let Snivy introduce it, because
I kind of wanted to segue another point into
Okay,
on,
shoot.
which is we
Yeah.
talked about this before while you were snoozing.
Yo.
bro, I was
But,
up at 9.
You're up to 9
I was doing
Where you at?
homework.
I thought you were working on your reel.
homework. when we
Yeah,
got
I'm a
the
college
cast,
student, dude.
College.
It was a 50-50.
Yeah.
And then I have to do
We lost the
VOD
50-50.
review the rest of the day to get my clips down so I can send them to an editor so that I will have my reel by Mash Harder.
Now we wanted to talk about our lovely favorite commentators.
Our favorite commentators?
Yes, our favorite commentators we draw inspiration from and we love listening to.
I would like to split this
Um,
category into Smash/FGC and then like actual like real world sports and or other competition broadcasters.
Real world.
I got no
sports.
real world.
I got
I was
real
just
world.
thinking
I have
about-
to have real world.
I have real world and I have other esports.
Okay. Oh
Um
yeah, we could do other esports too.
EA
But I have
sports.
like
yeah,
other.
let's do Smash.
Yeah, Smash that.
Let's do Smash, other esports, and then traditional sports.
Okay.
So that way, like, even though FGC then isn't Smash, I think it's different enough where it makes sense to, like, kind of isolate Smash for people who also are just, like, viewing for Smash.
Okay, let's go in order:
So-
Snivy, Waffle, Ritual, me, to just make it consistent.
I'm gonna give one of these up. I think Ritual and I share this commentary as well. Dara M. Gar, our goat. Now I think, yeah.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you, but I think we don't necessarily have all the same reasons for it, so I will mention it as well.
Yeah. So mainly studying for like our caster synergy, I look at Dara and Ramses a lot, which is mainly what they got. The play-by-play, like analytical conversation, mostly ongoing. That's what I mostly refer to for a lot of my Spanish commentary. Outside of that, I really enjoy listening to Arbiter Sky, that rambunctious Ramscallion on the mic, always shouting. His clips or his VODs are always beyond goated as well. I know people are not too keen on him, as boisterous as he is, but I think he's a good guy with a good heart. But I'm trying to think in terms of Smash as well, but like my brain about
You
to
can
be
pass it
empty.
on,
But
and we could come
Yeah.
back. If you
Yeah,
think
let's.
of any.
I was. Yeah, we
Yeah,
could
'cause-
also do the full cycle of Smash and then the full cycle.
Yeah,
of
that's what
FGC
we
and
should
then
probably
Real
do.
World.
Don't cycle it.
yeah,
That's what we're
I will,
doing.
okay.
Yeah. So
I'll leave
Waffle.
the FGs for the side, but go off.
It's just Hazmat.
Yeah, the goat.
Like, he's just every time you listen to him, you can just hear the enthusiasm
Yeah.
in his voice, and that's like all that matters.
You don't have
to
anyone on the
me.
melee end?
I
I
forgot
was
about-
going to get there. I was gonna get there. Well, Toph BBQ is the goat.
That's true.
literally just been doing it so long. Bobby Scar is like literally my inspiration. Like Phil Homemade Waffles, like literally all of them I've watched. Like I watch Mop Bob commentary highlight videos to this day. Like, and he hasn't made a video in like 6 years, 6 or 7 years. Like, they're so, that's like literally what I grew up with. So they're all like pretty big inspirations for me. And I gotta add Vish in there. Vish is really funny.
So good.
Vish is really funny. I think what makes Vish great is that he works with everyone. He's like super like outgoing and like makes you feel like like you're like watching like two just friends like talking. I think he's great. And that's my list. End of list.
Ritual?
Yeah, so first of all, I just want to say, very quick tangent, I just discovered the funniest interaction. Steve's in minecart, and he hits a Wonder Wing while he's riding in the minecart. It breaks the minecart, but it doesn't hit Steve.
Are you
Anyways.
VOD reviewing mid-podcast?
No.
We're not players.
Oh, you're playing mid-podcast? Are you
get
an
it out
ass
of
right
here.
now?
No,
Oh
dude,
my
Tweak
god.
You're
does
a
it all the
caster.
time!
Oh
Tweak
my
has
God.
to do it all the time!
We can title the video "Kicking the Woman Off the Podcast." It's great. It's great.
Anyways.
Misogyny
Great
running
content.
rampant.
Yeah, so
Yes.
I have a bunch of people, and the thing is, like, this isn't even, like, this is weird to me, because, like, it's definitely changed since I've gone into casting, a little bit. But a lot of the people have become constant, and I've been really, like, it happens to be that, like, you know, one of the people on this list is the person that I kind of learned how to cast from, right? Like, I'm gonna start, you know, shout out to Ajax, right? For, you know, putting Waffle and I on the mic, and Waffle, Snivy, myself,
Young
I know,
Waff.
giving us a lot of feedback that kind of really was transformative in helping us get to the level of casting we're at right now. You know, I just think Ajax, his energy, his play-by-play, his ability to weave analysis in, his player knowledge is just so on point. He's really someone who I don't see very many weaknesses in what he does on the mic. You know, there's maybe a couple minor things, but he is so incredibly talented and works so hard, and just, like, I love listening to him, you know, bias aside. Other, as well, you know, has, like Waffle said, I just love his perspective as kind of an analyst, but also a fan. Like, he is bringing that fan perspective and that passion and that excitement to the mic in a way that I don't think anyone else quite is, and I really like it. I think Kimona's analysis is incredible, and I love listening to them. Dara, as Snivy said, I think the Dara Ramses block from UFA 2022 at top 4 is the best commentary block that has been done in Ultimate, hands down. If you have not listened to that block, go listen to it. We'll try it. Maybe we can put a link to it in the description. But
I just realized the title of our podcast has more things, like block as in like a commentator block.
Yeah.
I just got that.
Good job. That's why it was
just
there. That's why it was
I
there.
just discovered
The name
that.
is just too
Anyways.
good now.
It's
But
just good now.
Dara, I think Dara has grown so much as a caster so incredibly quickly. It is somebody who, you know, people weren't always the biggest fan of its commentary, even as recently as like a year ago. But its ability to do, like, its play-by-play has gotten really good. Its analysis, I think, is some of the best in terms of keeping pace of play, in terms of providing insights that are digestible but still really useful. I just really like everything it does. I know Snivy already said Ramses. I don't really have a ton to add there. I think Lyric's excitement and play-by-play is really good. I think Nerf is someone I really wanna highlight here, though, because I was lucky enough to work with him, and he's someone I felt this way about for a long time, like longer than I've been a player. Nerf's ability to do analysis in a way that tells a story and do that, like, storytelling analysis is incredible, and I don't think he gets hired enough for events, personally. that's like a short list. I could keep
It's never
going
for
on
nothing.
Smashcasters. I think very highly of a lot of people and have a lot of people that I like feel like, oh, these are my favorites. If you were not listed on, if you're listening and you were not listed on here, I don't know, DM me or something. There's a good chance you're probably on here and I left you out for concision's sake, relatively. But yeah, Gerd?
Hand it off to me. Okay, we're gonna go Smash, and then like FGC overview. What is what I have. So my favorite caster is myself because I gotta hype myself up all the time on the mic. If you're not your own favorite caster, then
that's my
you're
guy.
wrong with yourself. So yeah,
Boo.
I had to.
You
I had to
shout
put it out
yourself
there.
out and not me, Gerd? Jeez, I see how it is.
That's crazy.
My favorite
If
commentator as well.
I'm on
I'm-
the
I'm
I'm on like a
DMing
semi grind to be good. So if I'm not believing in myself, then what's the point? So
Believe
I am
in
the
yourself.
best.
True!
But
True!
I am the
I'm
best
your-
caster in my mind.
I'm your number one hater, so I gotta
Exactly.
bring you down. I have
You
to.
gotta
I
bring
have
the
to.
hate
Almost
energy so
everyone
I can
Number
prove
one
you
hater,
wrong.
always.
The other than that, it's like has obviously the GOAT Massachusetts. I have to root for him, and he's just so good. Like I think Ritual was saying, just like the fan perspective he brings, and the hype, and just like the familiarity, and it feels like you're just talking to a friend when he's on the mic. It's just too good. He needs more top 4 spots at majors. Like
He really
actually,
He's getting them.
what?
He's getting them.
He is, I know, but I want him to get more. One of this commentator I only like kind of recently found out about. We talked about it at RNH, but Hummingbee is
Oh my
the
god.
best like caster I've ever heard. Like Haz is great, but like Hummingbee, you could just hear it in the commentary, the excitement that he brings and just the energy that you can feel whenever you're watching. It doesn't even matter if he's, speaking English or if he's speaking French. It's just too good. Because I remember watching his commentary at Rise and Grind, where I think he did both like English comms and French comms at the event. And I was listening to both. And it didn't even matter if I was listening to the French comms and I couldn't understand shit. I was tuned in to everything he was trying to say, even if I couldn't understand it. Just the energy that he brings is just so good. And when you can like a commentator, regardless of what they're even fucking saying, you could just hear it on and on and on. It's just so good. And then probably favorite like non-Smash FGC and overall esports, James Chen. Has to be. The passion that he brings, even on like whatever commentary he's on, Evo, what other Capcom, like the energy he brings and the passion that he has for his community and the passion he brings onto the mic is just, you cannot value it anymore. It's just too good. Like it doesn't matter if he like can stumble, but he's stumbling because he likes what he's doing. Sometimes he just overloads, but it's just passionate. It's just straight
Boy,
passion.
that's something I relate to hella hard.
Yeah. That's what I have in
So
terms
we'll
of
go in
Smash FGC and overall. Those 4.
So, we'll go in reverse order for FGC. Since you
Oh,
started
so I'll go.
FGC.
Well, I mean, I just did FGC, so I did that. I thought we were gonna do like
Yeah.
traditional.
and then we'll get.
Yeah.
Oh,
We'll do.
is anyone
We're
else
gonna
have
do.
any FGC?
Oh, we're gonna do
I
FGC
have
now?
yeah. Well, we're doing like
Yeah,
FGC.
we'll go in reverse order
We're doing like
of-
FGC and just other esports.
Oh, okay. So yeah, then I've done my part. Then you guys can go ahead.
You did your part. Thank you. I guess I'll take it back up.
Go ahead.
Well, I remember my Smash ones. There was like quite a few, but Waff named a few. Vish turned down for Walt. I think he said Walt, right?
I did not say Walt.
Wow, damn.
Walt's fine. Walt I feel like Walt only works in top 8 actually.
Yeah,
I
you
think
always
he-
see the Vish and
like-
Walt pair.
I actually think like he's amazing in top 8s and like really hype sets, but if I feel like he's very dependent on the set that he's given because he's like the only play-by-play caster in Melee, like that's prominent, and like when it's like hype, he like brings the hype really well.
But that's because play-by-play in Melee is really hard because of everything's
It's
already
so
been seen
hard.
before.
Shout out to the COD commentators that one set. So good.
That was literally who I was gonna put for my other esports.
DKBK baby.
Yeah, and
the guy who said put a mouse.
house-made waffles as well. You already know, or homemade waffles.
Waffle Gang.
Waffle guy. And then you mentioned the European commentators as well. I can literally rave on and on about every commentator in Spanish, but going to FGC, somebody that I really love to base my my commentary on, like slowly around, like his kind of like view of commentary in general is Sajam. Starting into commentary, he had a playlist for other commentators who kind of watch and consume.
We need
And
that.
what his
You need to
tips
pass
and
that over to me.
experience-
I need that.
I passed it over to Ritual such a long time ago, I believe.
I don't think you told me you were going to, but you never actually did.
That's insane. I'll put it in the
Yo!
group chat. That's insane. My
Put it in the
bad.
group chat.
But I always Sajam's play-by-play and analysis. He's mainly an analytical commentator. I love how passionate he is for his games as well, and the depth he's willing to go to for that knowledge as well. Like he won't commentate other games unless he has that knowledge. Which, unlike him, for me, I'm like I just gotta do it, even if I don't know it. Just doing it's probably the best way for me to get exposed and have experience in commentating games I don't or not too knowledgeable on. It's a good testament to how you are as a commentator and to execute your skills and translation of like a narrative and everything. But outside of that, I love Yipes.
Yeah, I
Majin
was about to
Obama.
say, I was thinking about Yipes just when you said Sage. I'm like, wait, I forgot to say Yipes. That's like the classic
goat, bro.
commentator.
I know we got that Yipes, but Majin Obama, like I was saying before, his ability to build up a player narrative, give the history of like the scenes and everything to build up for the grand stage. It's amazing. Yipes, I love his stingers, bro. He has the best jokes, some of the best play-by-play in the biz, mixed in with his analysis. You know, because a lot of the things in fighting games, people, they already know the game. They already know the game. The analyst is the one who mainly takes over, but you can chime in a little bit with your own as well to kind of give it as a pass, which is why I love it when he works with Sajam. But
Bro, I deadass got skipped. Hold on.
get skipped, nerd. But let's see, who else? Oh my god, man, I'm probably forgetting again my FG.
That's
cons.
fine. That's fine.
But like, I feel like
I think you
that's it
shouted
for
out
me.
some great people.
I did,
Yeah.
I did. Shout out to the Evo Dragon Ball Finals, bro.
Mm.
Dragon Ball Z 20. I think it was
2018.
2017, 2018. Goichi versus Sonic Fox.
The
Cell.
classic.
Ooh, I get chills every time thinking about it. But all right, Ritual.
Okay, so before I jump into other ones, I'm gonna add one more Smash person, which is I want to shout out the actual garbage himself, AG.
That dude's trash.
He has a very unique style to
Actually.
casting that I really like, and I like just kind of the chill, almost like self-referential style that he sometimes brings, as well as I really like specifically his breakdowns of disadvantage and recovery routes are amazing, and like routing, like movement routing, it's just he provides some of the most interesting, approachable, and like easily like digestible, I think, breakdowns and like point stuff out that is really just like I really like his stuff. But in terms of other esports, and then I guess am I the last one for other esports?
Waffle.
Yeah, because I don't
You
have
don't have
any.
any?
Okay.
I don't.
Yeah, so I'll
I don't
transition
watch
into
any other
See, guys?
esports.
I'll do other
I don't watch
esports and
any
then
other esports.
also traditional sports then, which is so other esports, I don't actually watch a ton of esports, surprisingly. But I Uber Shouts is an Overwatch caster. And just his energy, his infectiousness, his knowledge, it's all there. It's all really, really good. Golden Boy, the GOAT, as an MC and as like a play-by-play caster, I love that man. And then beyond that, just Monty and Doa. Like, Monty and Doa, I think, are like the gold standard for chemistry between co-casters. In the way they both can do analysis, they both can do play-by-play, they both really know their stuff, no matter what game they're in, whether it's Overwatch, whether it's League, no matter whether it's TFT, like, they know their stuff, they know how to make it funny, they know how to break things down and tell the story of the game, their handoffs are on point, and just, like, overall, I just think they're incredible. You may have noticed that all of those casters did Overwatch League. That's really the big esport that I've watched historically. I also like Achilles and Wolf. Those are literally all Overwatch casters. It's the only esport I've watched significantly. It's kind of depressing. Anyways, in traditional sports, I gotta shout out my former Dallas Cowboys quarterback, Tony Romo.
Yeah, Tony Romo.
Tony Romo's an analytical and predictive commentary in the NFL is second to none. There are clips of him literally telling you, based on lineup, every offensive and defensive play that is going to be run on a drive, when it's swapped by audibles, who's going to get thrown to. Like, he will tell you what play is happening on offense, what play is happening on defense, and who the quarterback is going to end up throwing to, based solely on the lineup at the start. And it's insane. His ability to see that analysis is and like predictiveness is second to none in any traditional sport. I want to also shout out, I'm totally blanking on his name. He was until very recently their radio announcer. Now I think he's the NESN announcer for the Boston Red Sox.
I don't know the name.
He is, I forget, I'm totally blanking on his name. The guy who replaced Jerry Remy is absolutely incredible on the call. Like, it just is so, like, it feels like everything you're listening to is the most important thing ever. And I'm not even a huge baseball fan, but I love listening to him. That's it for
That's your
me.
wrap-up?
Anyone else other than Gerd, or are we throwing it back
Waffle,
to Gerd?
did you have
directly?
anything?
I just like, if we're talking about sports,
goats.
I enjoy listening to Peter Drury, Graham Lasso, and Lee Dixon when they do a TriCast on the Premier League.
I've got one other traditional sports caster.
Yeah, Peter Drury, just like anytime like a goal is scored, like he's like poetic and like gives me chills every time my team scores in like a big game. So
What's your team?
Yeah.
that's about Arsenal Football Club.
Yeah, I'm gonna steal it back very quickly because I realized I forgot to. I'm not a huge fan of him as a person, but as a caster, like as someone doing casting, whether it's for football, whether it's for the WWE, which I don't really watch, but I have listened to his columns for that, and they're really good. Pat McAfee.
I was about to say, I knew you were going to say Pat McAfee once you said WWE.
I really think Pat McAfee does a really good job on commentary. I think he understands, again, that fan perspective, right? How to approach breaking down the analysis, breaking down the play-by-play, you know, being unbiased, but providing just a little bit to, like, really keep people invested. And, like, using the bias as, like, a perspective for his casting rather than, like, something that adds to it and, like, is the perspective which you narrate the set through is, like, a player's viewpoint rather than or someone's viewpoint rather than using it as a detriment to his casting. And I really like it. Yeah. Also, Peyton Manning, the ESPN cast, very casual, but
Oh,
like,
the
very
Manning
good
cast.
example of the Manning cast was a great example of like couch style commentary. I think.
Going off just quickly, like the Pat McAfee just has that brand. He's established that brand through the years. He's done his podcasts, and him having the opportunities through ESPN too, and then doing WWE. Anytime you hear his commentary anywhere, you just know he's going to bring like the electricity. He's going to bring that energy that he has on his podcast like daily. And it's just amazing. I know I watched his block during the national championship, and it was great.
Yeah, but Gerd, do you have anybody in traditional
Snivy, did
sports
you
that
have
wanna-
anything or?
Did you want to finish up with yours? Because I know we got to segue into our next item.
Okay, yeah. So I'll go, and then if you have anything,
got
you can do
nothing.
yours, and then
I
we'll
got
segue
nothing.
into the last topic.
Okay,
So I've got
sorry, Snivy, I didn't mean to erase.
3 groups of people. I'm not trying to make it long or anything. First one, Mike Breen, NBA play-by-play lead caster for the NBA. Mostly does the Knicks, but is also on national television for ESPN all the time and does the NBA Finals. His ability to just dissect and like key moments and then piece them together for play-by-play is amazing. His signature bang call is one of the hardest signature calls I've ever heard in any sport, unless there's like another one that I just haven't heard. Like obviously you have like signature goal, but like every broadcaster has a goal call. Like you don't just use bang.
He's a King K. Rool from New England.
I love that. You showed me that earlier. And then
King
it's like
Rool.
no one says bang in NBA like Mike Breen does. Everyone in soccer has a goal call. no one else has a bang call. That is just his
My
signature.
favorite one is
It's
the
great.
boom shakalaka call.
I don't think of who's that from.
I don't remember. It's also in NBA Jam, which it might.
I would
just
not be
from.
surprised. Yeah, and then
It's amazing, and I love
yeah,
it.
the second one I have is Jim Nance. I will always watch a Jim
I love Jim
Nance-led
Nance.
broadcast, regardless of who's playing or if I hate the team. I will always listen to it. Jim Nance, specifically his intros. His intros, even before the game starts, like once they like cut from an ad break into like leading up, and they have the NFL players, segueing into the stadium as their introduction. I always feel like he's, bringing me into the game. He's always just super friendly on the mic, introducing himself, introducing Tony Romo, like you mentioned before. It's so good. And his voice just through the play-by-play, even on the most basic of a play where, like, the offense could do a jet sweep and then gain, like, 6 yards. He can still bring a good energy and a good analysis of that during his play-by-play.
Also, neither of us mentioned. I just want to very quickly, not recently, because I think he's just a lot older, and unfortunately, kind of it's starting to make its miles. But he's been doing it for like 50 years. Al Michaels.
Yeah.
Al Michaels has more classic Al Michaels. Like I'm talking like 80s Al Michaels.
80s, 90s, and early 2000s Al Michaels, and like mid 2010s Al Michaels is like peak.
Yeah.
I think I don't want to say he's dropped off, but like his energy, I don't think is as explosive as it was. But he's like
I mean,
the
he just
GOAT.
doesn't have the same like ability to stay on top of things anymore because he's like 80.
Yeah.
But as well as like Dick Scully, right or Vin Scully, sorry, for the Dodgers, longtime Dodgers caster, is really good. And then lastly, this is gonna be controversial, but I have to, I can't, I feel like we can't talk about traditional sports. I am gonna say Joe Buck.
I knew it. We had the
And
same
I'm not
idea.
necessarily the biggest fan of all of his commentary. And I know he's very controversial for that. But his ability to stay on top of, at the highest level, 4 different sports at the same time and cast them 4 days in a row. He will fly across the country and then back across to cast 3 or 4 different professional sports events for different sports and do it at the top level in like 4 days. And it's absurd the amount of research and dedication and prep time to whether or not you like his comms. I aspire to have that level of prep and that level of recall to be able to really provide on that level for that many different things.
So what just quickly, like he does NFL football, he does baseball. What were the other 2?
I don't remember. I just know he's done off the top of my head. I know those are the 2 he's most known for, but he did 2 other sports like right in a row. I think he's done as well some Olympic stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would not be surprised by that.
And he's done, I want to say he's done other stuff too. I just don't remember off the top of my head.
And then I'm just going to quickly end with my final group of people before we segue into what Snivy wants to talk about. Mike.
We're never doing this segment ever
Shut
again.
up.
I agree.
It's taking too long.
We
We
have
can
It's
make this a
taking
whole
way too
segment. We
long.
can make this a whole segment next time. honestly.
It's a whole episode.
The final one for me is
Whole episode, yeah.
the Boston Celtics broadcasting duo of Mike Gorman, Brian Scalabrine, who are
I
the
agree.
best duo I've ever heard, because there will be a national broadcast of like an NBA game where the Celtics are playing, and I won't even watch that unless it's Mike Breen, because I will be watching Brian and Scal because I just think they're better, because they just have that synergy for such a long time, and it's great. Okay, that's all I want to talk about. Okay, Snivy, you can go ahead. We're running out of time.
All right, our big tournament coming up for the weekend. We got to talk about our events, so we always got to talk about it on the podcast. We have Eon Revelation coming up. A very, very fitting end to the 5 years that Eon has served. I can't really... We're running short on time, so I'm just going to quickly abbreviate. It's a scene...
I mean, we could go over. Just talk about it.
Okay. Well, Eon was a tournament series that started up for about like 5 years ago after Mid-Hudson's former local ESCE kind of shut its doors. It was a very nice ballroom kind of venue. Then they kind of operate. Then Money G came around. They had Eon. That was their venue to operate in the Galleria Mall. And they house very phenomenal players such as you're aware of Opana, his Brawl like. There's Ophi from the Brawl days in Smash 4. Arch, one of our prominent players, piloting Palu all throughout Smash 4 into Ultimate. and was still dominant until he moved away to Capital Region. And then there was many of you are familiar with this guy, Stocktaker69, the absolute GOAT, bro. Bro was slinging around with Villager in the Smash 4 days, and I think eventually just transitioned to Wolf and became one of the best players, having the kind of training that he had at New Paltz, which is one of the colleges around here. Which that New Paltz was a very strong kind of dealio in themselves as well.
It still is.
It is. It still is basically.
That's where Serta went for a year before he transferred.
Yeah, Charles. He was farming the. Actually, no, it was AJ, right?
Yeah,
It was
he was farming as Snake, and somehow the region still doesn't know the matchup. Anyways,
Listen, you can only learn so much. You know, he's just better. He's just better. Okay.
I see how it is, Snivy.
He's just better.
So Snivy,
catching
who's
in
on
friendlies
who's
this
on
weekend.
commentary for Eon
But
this weekend?
But our commentary staff is absolutely goated. We have Gutbuster and Matthew, local man Matty from Westchester, opening it up on Cruise. Then we have Momo and Player 4 on Dubs. Absolute good duo. I saw Momo and Player 4 kind of kicking it in Dubs at Vortex, which I was really a fan of their commentary. And then
Player 4 was that Vortex?
I must be capping. it's like
You're capping.
No,
I'm
it was
capping.
Momo
I'm
and
definitely
Ma.
capping. Momo and Ma.
It was Momo and Ma.
But Player 4, I have seen his Dubs commentary.
Yeah,
and I'm a
he's
real
the
big
best
fan
Dubs
of it.
He's the best Dubs caster.
For Momo?
He's literally
Momo?
the guy.
In
And
Smash.
I think that's also his birthday
No,
weekend as
Player
well.
4,
I think-
Reggie.
Oh yeah.
So happy birthday to Reggie. But
Happy birthday.
going
Shoutouts.
further into the roster, we have Monaniva and myself opening it up for Wave A, and then we have Ritual and Lyric Grow Power putting it on Wave B as well. And
I'm
then
so
up-
excited. I'm
up
so
into that
excited.
Upper echelon, I know Lyric's just as excited. But
Wait,
up
really?
in that,
Aw.
yeah, up into that
You
upper
didn't tell
echelon.
me about that, dude.
Hey yo,
I wish I
gonna
could
make
work
me
with
cry.
the top caster. Cry.
Listen, you simply
Bro,
simply
literally just
ask.
come to Vortex.
Simply just ask. That's
Yeah,
all.
no, that's
I
also
literally,
true.
I literally asked Ubel. Is like, yo, you want to work together? It's like, can I work with you? It's like, yeah, sure. And I'm like, awesome.
No worries. I'll just become my own
um,
top caster, and then everyone wants to work with me.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
True.
saying.
You gotta hype
I am
yourself up.
the
I'm
top caster
telling
now.
you.
Okay. Has that ever happened? Like, has that happened to any of you though?
Yes.
That might be a good thing to end on. We'll
That
jump
people
back to,
want
like, a
to-
top
yeah, we'll
caster.
talk about
top
that next
16.
week.
Yeah.
Top
No,
16, we
can close on that. I don't think that's a long segment.
Momo and Mott, and then leading up the top 8, I got Lyric and Player 4, and then closing it out, Ritual and I, the new heads of Mid Hudson, the comms duo, closing out
Yeah.
such a phenomenal
Absentee
event.
Biased.
member of the region.
I honestly,
right
Shane
here.
wanted to be like that, so I'm just like, it is what it is. And I think
Really,
the schedule's
Shane
gonna
wanted
work.
it.
Listen, it's
You didn't
only
tell me that.
fitting. It's only fair.
I
It's
agree with
only-
you, dude.
It's only fair.
I
Nah,
agree, but
I know next time when
Mo and Mott are doing the same thing for the mid off. So
yeah, exactly. But I know next time when I choose for the commentary for unnamed event, that is totally not happening. It's totally not the Mid Hudson Invitational that's happening at my house. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But we have that event for Eon. It's gonna be incredible because it is a B tier. It's a B tier
Yep.
event here in
it's a
Tri-State.
B tier, solid B tier, high B tier. Got listed right next to the big. It is the biggest tournament in the United States happening this weekend in
Yeah,
North America.
and this is honestly,
Who's going?
Oh, we got Zamba, Icy Mist,
Here, I have it up in front of me.
Beast,
actually.
Quandale, Dingalingleton, Jen,
Quandale?
Stocktaker
The
69,
Dingalingleter?
Quandale, Dingalingleter.
Yeah.
You already
Here,
know who it
let
is.
me do the.
You're
top,
forgetting a top
I'll
player.
I was gonna say here's the top
There's
32
Zamba,
seeds.
Jackal.
Yeah.
So the top 32 seeds are in
Syrup?
order.
oh god.
In order: Zamba, Jackal, Quid, Syrup, Waddy, Quandale,
Our
Dingalingleton,
invited member.
Leon, Jen, Mr. E, who okay, CT Farms. Anyways, Icy Mist, C, Guy, Miles, Noku, Beast. Sorry, I dropped my list.
And a bunch of great names.
Ready? Miles, Noku, Beast, Gatsby, Average Alex, Stocktaker 69, Web JP, Waidu, Cody, Yoda Cage, Bobo, Pecco, Tony Pajamas, Tab Soda, Zaphros, BD Bean, Grunk, Citadel, Crin, and then Jeepers is number 32, Arch is number 33.
Damn.
What region
That's
is Waidu
missed it.
from?
Long
Long
Island.
Island.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ruby
Box
Farm with the
Steve,
box Steve.
cheater.
They
Cheater.
They recently
better.
got top 8 at Jugendbound, which that was a very
Eugene.
stacked.
It's Eugene.
Eugene
Yeah, it's
bound?
Eugene, Oregon.
Eugene bound. That was a very stacked event, very top heavy in terms of players as well. It was very phenomenal that
Yeah.
Waidu can make it out with box no less. I understand it's cheap box, but I feel like it takes kind of skill to polish it. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, no,
Especially when
it
you're playing against
absolutely
Steve.
does.
Because Steve is a really technical character. And I'm very
Yes.
surprised a lot of people haven't really thought of experimenting with Steve on box. But we're enough about the analysts. We can always talk about that after
Yeah.
this event occurs
Next-
for the
next
next
week.
episode.
Next week.
Yep, the review of
But,
Neon Revelation.
I just wanted to say how I was feeling about the event. Going into this event, I know Lyric and I, Ritual and I, we're not too happy with how we did last weekend with our commentary. So and I
Wait,
definitely
where?
wasn't because I'm coming.
Arcadian?
Lake George.
Oh, I didn't know you
Definitely
guys
Lake
did
We
Lake
did
George.
2 events in 2 days. We were at Xeno. on
Oh, was
Saturday
that
for
what
the
you were
Arcadian,
talking
and
about,
then
like
Lake
on your
George.
tweet?
I
where you're
thought
like,
it was.
yeah,
I
it was
thought
pretty average
fine,
block.
but
Yeah,
it was pretty average.
It was pretty average. My block with Momo was pretty average. My block with Montaneva is on the blast zone is the worst single block I've ever done.
That's crazy.
But
and
going.
Waffle
That's
remembers our
crazy
first
that
block.
that beats out our first ever block.
That's
Our first ever
funny.
block.
Our first ever block sucked balls.
It was not great, but I actually went back and listened to compare, and considering the fact that like considering where we were skill wise, it was so much better. Like when you look at it in the context of our
No.
skill.
I don't want to look at it in context. I want to look at it as
No.
like I am watching this as a fan, and this is absolutely awful. Please stop making me listen to it.
True. Check the YouTube comments for that block if y'all
Yeah,
are curious.
But
Wait, is there actually YouTube comments?
yes, we do have YouTube comments. We have an anonymous
know.
badger who
Ooh.
I will mention
We should talk
briefly
about that next time.
that well, I'll mention for just a one quick second that mentioning that the homecoming was like they always invited out people to the Xanadu homecomings. They had a lot of players such as like Jackal. I know they had Quid before. They were gonna have Esam, but something came up. But yeah, it was just something they always did. But to prep for this event, I really had to like reframe my mind to how it was before the break. So to do this, I labbed I hit up the good old commentary lab. I'll talk about this is another future episode topic, but I love metagaming the shit out of my commentary and just in general. So I hit up the lab. I cooked up some combos. I watched VODs from various sets that were fighting game related. Looked at the Dara Ramses DFA block. I always watch these sets to like build up my mental, get myself hyped back up, frame myself as like the fan, analytical kind of play-by-play that I am. And Encore, I came through on the comms with Maddie and oh my god, Rara, and it was probably some of the best work I've definitely done. It felt like I was back at what I was before when I left, so I'm really excited going into this weekend. How do you feeling about this ritual?
Yeah, I'm feeling nervous but pumped because I feel like every time I listen to my own comms, I get better in some ways and worse in others, and I think that's definitely happened the last couple weeks. But I'm doing a lot of prep. I'm gonna get to bed hopefully early tonight.
Yes.
I'm gonna be there early tomorrow as well. I'm gonna try to get there by 11 to help you all set up and everything. Which I wanted to ask as well. Do we have lighting equipment for the commentary setup? Because I have like actual like standalone lights now, and I could just bring them.
Well, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah,
I was just about to
that's
say.
an off. I was gonna say that's an off the podcast topic.
We'll talk about
but,
that later.
I'm super excited. For my blocks, it's gonna be my second time doing top 4 of a regional. I did Alpha 5 with Reggie, which was a blast. But I'm really excited to be able to do it at literally maybe the most stacked event I've ever cast, with one of my 2 statics, the other one being in this call as well.
Not
Shout out
me.
to Waffle.
It's not me.
It is
And that's
not
before
me.
CT Gaming, by the
Actually,
way.
it's actually Gurn. Sorry.
But
Yeah,
I'm gonna
and like it's just I'm really excited to have the opportunity to do it. I think the players, it's super exciting because we have a mix of people from, we have people from New England, right? We have people from every region and sub-region in Tri-State, which is insane. Like, it's not often you get Capital Region players playing Long Island players playing, right, Philadelphia players playing, and we do even playing like Pittsburgh players, right, with Icy Mist, which is insane that we have that. Wadi as well, right? So many different regions coming together here and culminating in a final event for a local that really built the scene in Mid-Hudson to what it is today. I'm super excited to see it happen. I think the event is gonna slap. And I'm just really excited to see
Free games, free food.
I'm really excited to do some analysis to talk about a lot of Rob, probably.
I'm so ready. To
A
talk
lot of
about
Rob, a lot of Charge Shot, some saucy Nest play, some
that.
saucy
You know
Palu
I'm
play.
already down to talk about this.
The matchups are going to be really cool and very weird. I know, like, the top 8 seeding is, like, obviously, right? Like, these are all top players. These are all players ranked on ult rank, right? Are Jen, Leon, Quandel, Dinglingleton, Wadi, Syrup, Quid, Jackal, Zomba are all, 8, are all ranked all over the place. I think Quid is not ranked on the this season on ult rank,
don't
but that's
think
because
so.
of lack of activity.
I
Definitely
expect
not
Gaga to
skill.
get top 8.
Yeah,
My
I was
question-
gonna say,
Yes.
I think like I wanted to ask for people
Guy and
who
C.
we can all pull up the bracket. I wanted to ask what people had as a pick for like a dark horse to really make a run in the bracket.
I just think that the tournament's gonna be great, and there's so many
Yeah.
amazing players.
Like,
It's
you
gonna,
know?
it's gonna
Yeah.
be great.
And I think
My- but-
think that we talked so much about commentators
man.
that we don't have the time to talk about dark
Yo,
I
this
was
horses.
has
gonna
been
say,
such a
I
great
also
podcast
think-
episode.
Unironically, though, I just want to say my 2 dark horses to make a run, like, unironically, are exactly, my 3, like, that I really think are going to go way farther than their seed are seeds 12 and 13, Guy and Miles, as well as C. I think all 3, 11 through 13, could easily make top 8, make a deep top 8 run. Guy is a Luigi player and is positive lifetime on both Zomba and Quid pretty significantly.
Hey, Wolf.
And that's a huge deal. But also, I want to just say, I think Dove, unironically, I think Dove could make a run.
Super fighting robot.
Mega Man
Mega Man.
is a matchup check, and even though all of these people have played your MPGs, your Blitz Luigis, right? Like, Dove plays that character very differently, and I think if he's playing on point, I
it's
think
Wolf.
Dove could unironically make a run.
I think you know what's crazy. You know what I think is a dark horse? That timer, bro. That timer, because we're at
Bro,
the end
the
of
timer's
this
going
episode.
crazy.
The timer's gonna go crazy in the
are.
bracket, because this is all
Yes.
that we have the time for today. This I see Gert and I rocking the shine hats. Shout out to New England as well.
And which no one will ever see because we're not putting
The fakest New
You
England.
didn't
We're
record
not
the
this has
recording
been-
podcast?
them.
You didn't record the webcams, dude?
This has
No,
been,
we just
Cynic
want
I
Vibes
to
told-
do it to,
I
like,
told
see
you
each
guys.
other.
It doesn't fit into the layout.
Okay, then I'm making a layout for us for next week, dude.
Okay, well.
Okay,
No,
just
it's
before
fine.
we
I
end,
will
we
get
got
one.
like
Alright.
probably like one more minute.
Oh my god.
Besides,
No,
like,
I'll-
is there anything
Waffle, I'll
else that's
make one
going on
if
this
you
weekend? Events, obviously, Ritual and
Um,
Snipe are doing
There's
Eon.
nothing.
Any Waffle? Anything on your end?
So Eon, absolutely, definitely watch that. There's going to be amazing competition for Super Smash Brothers Ultimate and amazing casters. I love everybody in that lineup. There's literally only one commentator I didn't know about in that list, so
Which
definitely check
is
that out.
Maddie, right?
I don't remember. No, I know about Maddie. It was somebody
Gutbuster.
else. Gutbuster, yeah, I didn't know who Gutbuster was.
It's his first time
so I'm
casting outside
excited.
Long Island. I'm super excited to see what he does.
Me too.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, definitely check that out. The same day, if you're a Melee head, we have Giga Hog, third edition or something, series 3 or something. I'm probably either going to commentate or I'm definitely going to compete, but I'm going to try to get on commentary.
He's a cheat box user.
Check that
Don't
out.
trust
Cheat
him.
box.
Check that out. Yeah, I do use box in Melee, so but I'm pro box nerf. I just think it's consistent and it's not gonna break on me, and that's the only reason why I play box. So you can nerf it. That's fine. Yeah, those are the two things to check out this weekend. And does anybody else have anything?
I have
to say
I
something
before
don't.
we go?
I
So
wanna
I'm just gonna
say
sneak in my thing because mine
as
is
well.
quick. I don't have any events this weekend. I had a really good block yesterday at my local BSB on Thursday. It was great. I love Sinbad. I have an event next week, but we can talk about that at the next podcast next week.
Yeah.
Alright.
I just want to say, I have one other thing I'm doing. As I've been ribbing Waffle for a box this whole time. Waffle knows about this. I'm building a box. And I will talk more about that once that process is done. Maybe I can have we can get a controller modder or, my friend who I'm building it with on here as a guest for that episode. I think that would be
That's
pretty
funny.
neat.
I
To
like
talk
that.
about like doing DIY controllers and controller modding and all that stuff. But I am building a box. I'm using the Open Frame 1. I don't know whether I'll switch to it for Ultimate or for Melee. Because I have a modded controller for both of those. But I want one to be able to better understand what playing on a box is like, so I can talk about it on the mic. But I started that process. I ordered all the parts, so once it gets here, it's gonna be me and my friend doing a whole bunch of soldering, and we'll talk about that in a couple weeks when that is all nice and wrapped up. But speaking of wrapping up.
Oh my God! It's the end of the podcast.
us home, Walt.
What?
Take us
Goodbye.
home. Take us home.
Everybody, say goodbye before the stream gets cut.
Goodbye. See you next
Bye,
week.
everybody. Have a blast.
Follow me at
See ya.
Syndicate
Love you.
Ivy.
Thanks for listening.